I am not happy about this. I didn't want to have to shoot this video, but here we are. It's mid-April. We've lost March Madness, the Olympics, half the basketball season, the Masters, start of the MLB season, probably the start of the NFL season too. And the way that governors and mayors across the country are talking about stay-at-home orders moving forward, I don't see any way that we get back to sports as usual anytime soon. If you're new to the channel, my name is Max Armand, your source for all things real estate, finance, and sports here in Los Angeles. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you why I think we're not going to see any major sporting events for the rest of 2020. Let's get to it. Before we dive into the video, I just want to acknowledge how incredibly difficult this time has been for so many across the globe. At a time when people's health and livelihoods are severely impacted by a pandemic, a topic like sports can seem inconsequential. So please don't mistake the levity of this video to be in any way disrespectful to what really matters right now: your health, your livelihood, and being able to hug a loved one when all this is over. What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Another day, another video, and I wish that this was on a brighter topic, but unfortunately I'm here to tell you how I don't think we're gonna have any major sports played throughout 2020. And I am basing this off of information that has come out from mayors and governors across the country lately. Right here in Los Angeles, we're on a stay-at-home order, essential activity only until May 15th, but recently Mayor Eric Garcetti came out and told us that he doesn't think that any large-scale gatherings would be appropriate. 10, 20, 30,000 people in the same place at the same time, at least until we have a vaccine, and that won't be until the end of the year. I know that the current administration told us that we'd have a miracle cure within a few weeks, but that ain't gonna happen. So at this point, we really need to be prepared to not see our favorite sports teams out in action for the foreseeable future. Now, I've heard a lot of the league offices trying to come up with creative solutions to this. If you're talking about MMA, Dana White talked about buying a private island to have fights. I know that MLB was talking about playing their games in Arizona at the spring training stadiums with no fans and the players sitting 6 feet apart in the bleachers until it was their time to bat, eating hot dogs before they got called into the on-deck circle. None of that actually makes logistical sense. And from the science behind it, what the doctors are telling us is if you were to have a league playing, all of these players would have to be quarantined during that time. They would have to get tested every 2 weeks. All of the staff that were involved, all of the officials, all of the bus drivers, all of the equipment staff, everybody would have to be tested. And if even one of those people tested positive, every single person they came in contact with would have to be tested and quarantined for 2 weeks as well. So any of these creative solutions simply are not feasible. And if you guys have been following the channel, you know that I live less than a mile away from SoFi Stadium, new home of the Rams and the Chargers. If you haven't seen my video on SoFi Stadium, check it out right here. And they actually just announced they're canceling the first event scheduled there, Taylor Swift, on July 25th, 26th. In fact, she actually canceled all of her concerts for 2020. Now, just imagine, do you really think that by the start of the NFL season in a few months, we're gonna be ready to be gathering 50, 60, 70,000 people in a stadium together where they all meet up and then drive back to their communities? There's absolutely no way that this is gonna happen. So I really believe that all our professional sports leagues are doomed to lose their 2020 seasons. It pains me to say it as much as it pains you guys to hear it, but now let's go through the MLB, the NBA, and the NFL and see how a full season cancellation would affect our favorite teams and our favorite players. So let's get started with the MLB, and this one hurts, man. It pains me. Baseball is my sport, and the team that has it worst if we are canceling 2020 is the Dodgers, by far. Best team in the league coming into this season. Narrowly missed out on World Series wins 2 of the last 3 years. But Dodgers aside, this really affects all of us no matter who your favorite team is, because the way a canceled season works as far as contracts go, it goes off of the previous season's MLB service. So this is really going to affect our prospects and our minor leaguers who aren't going to accrue any MLB service in this canceled year. So that means teams control them for a year longer, they're 1 year farther away from arbitration, they're 1 year farther away from free agency. So those are the guys that are really hurting if we miss out on 2020. And sure, I might be biased saying the Dodgers are the ones that definitely would have won the World Series this year and are hurt the worst, but how about the team that benefits the most from a canceled season? And for me, it's a no-brainer. It's the Houston Asterisks, because they aren't going to be getting beamed by pitches every time they step in the box this year like they deserve to be. Before we move on to the NBA, I want to remind you guys, if you like this content and want to see a lot more of it moving forward, find that subscribe button below and smash it, hit the bell for notifications. I do this stuff for you, I enjoy doing it, and I appreciate all of your support. Alright guys, moving on to the NBA, and they've already played more than half the season. Whoa! And I think out of any league that has a chance to be playing some games and completing a season, it's the NBA. Already completed more than half the season, you could actually seed playoff brackets, and you could potentially be playing games in empty arenas. Now, this comes with that same caveat where players would have to be tested, staff would have to be tested, the people delivering the food would have to be tested, and if a single player tested positive for coronavirus during this playoff, then it would be suspended. So it's risky, but I think there is a chance. So who would benefit the most from actually completing this season? Hey, common theme, we're keeping it right here. The Lakers or the Clippers. Whichever one of them emerges from the Western Conference is gonna be the heavy favorite in the finals. So if we lost this season where LeBron and AD finally gelled, if we lost this Clippers season where Kawhi, Paul George, Pat Bev, Montrez, and Sweet Lou are just killing it, it would be devastating for us LA basketball fans that are craving another championship. And the NBA right now is in the best position to be actually playing some games soon, if at all possible. Adam Silver, the commissioner, was on the committee to reopen America or whatever BS that was. So he's tied in, he's able to push things through. A huge amount of their revenue is from TV. These guys are ready to get out there and play, maybe in empty arenas, but just so much has to go right for this to happen. It would be a shortened season, a brief playoff, stuff like that. And I do hold out some hope that the NBA may be able to figure out something creative to actually complete a season. Maybe cut off the regular season now, create a playoff bracket, play in front of no fans. And so if they are able to figure something out and get this championship played in months from now, that would be awesome for all of us. We'd love to see it. The only thing I would regret is inevitably when one of the LA teams won, all of you guys would be telling me there's an asterisk next to it for the rest of my life. Moving on to the NFL. Now, what the NFL has on its side is time, right? The season's not supposed to start for several more months. Everything is in place for them to do so if stay-at-home orders are lifted, but like I talked about earlier in the video, I just don't think it's gonna come together that quick. If you're still having stay-at-home orders and social distancing when guys are supposed to be at training camp, are they gonna get tested every single day for coronavirus? Are they gonna quarantine guys that test positive, quarantine their entire team that's been in contact with them? So there's a lot of things at play here that we just don't have answers to. But another huge loss for all of us, all across the NFL community, would be if we didn't get to see games played at SoFi Stadium right here in Inglewood. I know all of you were just waiting for games to be played at that amazing palace that we have in my backyard right now. But in all seriousness, if there's any way that the NFL can make this happen, they will. There's tens of billions of dollars at stake for this season. So I know Roger Goodell is going to be working with the government, with everybody they can, to somehow make a plan to get this season on track. But like I said, I just don't see any easy way to do it by early September. So what do we take away from all of this? Well, there's not much you or I can do to bring sports back any sooner. But one thing I think we should all try and do is maintain some perspective. What's important right now is that everybody stays safe, stays healthy, that we get back to our jobs and maintain some normalcy before we get back to rooting on all of our favorite teams, visiting all of our favorite arenas, and bringing that sports community back together. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you weren't too annoyed by my LA fandom throughout this video. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be bringing you more videos following up on this in the future, and I'll catch y'all on the next video.